doing it. You supposed to be happy you sitting there with Kid L. Why you mad?
The Kid L Podcast.
We're rolling. Probably the craziest boots to be on the podcast. It's like two cheetahs just chilling.
Just chilling.
On the bottom. Introduce yourself to everybody real quick.
Okay. Hi, I am NIAIMANI. I am a Detroit artist. I'm a singer and a songwriter.
Cool. You have a super, super soft voice.
Thank you.
When it's time to sing, though, sounds like you can hit the levels because I've heard you do it.
Thank you.
Do you like conserve your voice or is it just how you speak?
I think that's just how I speak.
Cool. Tell everybody where you're from.
Okay. I am from Detroit, from Westside 7 Mile, and then I grew up in Troy after that,
Oh, cool.
in the burbs.
Very dope. How long did you stay in Detroit for before you moved to Troy?
About 9 years.
Okay. And growing up, you had a father that was a producer, right?
Yes.
Can you tell everybody about your father?
Yeah, my dad is super dope. He's in love with music. He can play the drums just like you. He can pretty much, like, if you give him a song and want him to remake it, he could do it from scratch. But he's never been classically trained to do a lot of that stuff. He grew up listening to everything. He loves R&B, everything.
Does he have like a producer name?
Vanden Marks.
Oh, cool.
But he doesn't show himself yet, but we trying to get there.
Okay.
But he goes by Vanden Marks.
Very dope. So was he your first influence as far as getting involved in music?
Yes.
Dope. What was the first time you realized that music might be the venue for you?
I think I've always wanted to do it, but the first time that I realized was when I was in my freshman year of college, and I just wanted a more fulfilling experience out of my life. Like, I love school. I think it's a great thing, but I needed something that spoke to my heart and not just like my career.
Yeah. So it's like you knew there was more to yourself creatively, right?
Yes.
Because school is a very structured thing. It's not really too much creativity you can do with mathematics, right? It's pretty binary. What was the first time you actually did something with music?
The first time, I think I was probably like 7, and I was singing The Climb by Miley Cyrus in my dad's basement on his little system. So that was like the first time ever.
God damn, Miley Cyrus is the first song you ever sang?
Yeah.
Make a motherfucker feel old. God damn, son. I thought you were going to say like Mary J. Blige or some shit like that. Damn. Miley Cyrus is like kind of new still. It's like, what? She's like 15 years in the game, maybe less.
Yeah, that's kind of old school. I mean, like, to the younger kids now, they would never, I don't think, would say Miley Cyrus.
Hell no. So Miley Cyrus is your first person that you're just echoing, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember your first time getting in a studio?
The first time I was in a studio was in 2020 when we hit the pandemic. I think his name is like Pete or something. I can't remember. It's been a minute.
The name of the studio or where it was?
It was in Detroit. I cannot remember for the life of me.
So
I
you get in
can't.
the studio, and what are you trying first, R&B or rap?
I was singing. I was actually doing a feature. That was the first time.
Who was the feature for?
J-Ron. Shout out to J-Ron.
Cool.
He was my first introduction to being like in a real studio.
Is that
Red Room now?
Is that your first? Would you consider that your first song, or was that just a feature for you?
That was just a feature. It was my first featured song.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was not like me making my first song.
What was your first song that you recorded?
The first song I recorded was Long Time. Me and my dad recorded that in our basement. We never put it out, but that was my first song.
So what made you not put out the song?
I don't know. I guess we didn't think it was ready yet.
But so what's the first song that you make that you do release?
We Could Be.
Very good. Right. And this song hits the radio?
Yeah.
Very cool. Talk about how it gets to the radio.
So I went on Past the Chord. Have you heard of that?
No.
So over at the studio in Southfield, Mix Factory, they do this thing called Past the Chord where artists can come out and you get to play your music. And at the end, Makai and some other people, they vote on who they think is the best. And if you win, you get studio time, a song, radio play, some other dope stuff.
Sweet.
And I win, and it just happened like that.
Very, very cool. It's always awesome to be like a winner of a competition, right? There's a lot of artists that are probably signing up for it.
Yeah.
to be number one, and especially it's like you're still relatively a new artist when you're doing it, right?
Yes.
Is that the motivational piece to keep going? Like to see like it's working already, like right away it's working?
Yeah, that's where something I think beginner's luck is real. For sure.
Beginner's luck. Yeah. A little bit, but also you have to have some natural talent too.
Yeah.
Like somewhere people were hearing like, no, she's got more than just what this is, but this is great too, right? At the same time. So what's your next moves after you get on radio and you're realizing that people are resonating with you?
Next after that, I'm just like, okay, how can I, like, what's my next song? What am I going to put out next? That was my next thoughts, really. Just like, how can I just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing?
Yeah. What are you hearing from people that are in the music scene? Are you talking to anybody that's around the game that's giving you feedback or talking to you about how to, enhance your career?
I'm like, I wouldn't say like people that's like fully in the game, but people that's around music and that are submersed in the culture. So just telling me the same thing, like, you got to do this, you got to go into the studio, you just got to put out different type of music. If you got to cuss or be a little bit ratchet, stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't really want to hear all of that. And it's not as easy as it sounds to just go into the studio. And I was also hearing from my parents, too, not to use YouTube tracks because I know a lot of people get hindered by using that stuff. But I feel like also I'm like, but dang, I can't put out no music, if I'm not just actively being fed tracks to sing on.
Yeah, you're going to have to buy a lot of the beats, right? License them and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It costs a lot of money.
Yes.
And then it's hard to kind of find the songs in the first place. Usually artists, when they get to a certain level, people just start flooding their emails with free shit. Like, here's a free beat, free music video, free photography, whatever you want. But in the beginning, you're usually getting charged for every fucking little move that you make.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Everybody... And it's just the name of the game. You play to pay. You pay to play until you get paid to play. That's just how it works. That way for literally everybody. Everybody goes through it. Yeah. You literally just pay until eventually people are like, no, now we want to pay you. Like, all right, bet, fire. Like, sweet. But it takes a minute to get there. Who are some of your supporting teammates and people surrounding you throughout the time while you're working on your career?
Okay, so one of them's my best friend right here. She's behind the camera, both cameras. Her name is Euphemia. She's been holding me down we've been friends since like high school, middle school. So it's just been since I started. She's been there for me, whatever I need, and just supporting me.
Dope. So it's just you guys as a dynamic duo?
Yeah, like low-key. And my cousin, Jaya, she supports me. My friend, Jaya Honey, my parents. I've had some good people in my corner. I'm not gonna lie. I've had great people in my corner.
Very cool. Now you're actually acting too now, right? You're actually getting into the movie roles.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the movies you've been in.
So I was in a movie with my good friend James Azure. Have you heard of him?
Mm-mm.
He plays the guitar. He got blonde hair, blue eyes. He's fire. He's phenomenal. I'm sure you will hear about him. I was in a movie that he wrote. I can't remember the name. I think it's kind of a complicated name, so I can't remember. But I played the role of just like his dead wife and like a ghost. It was so that was funny. And then I played the lead role in a movie called Lethal Lies by Sean Gilliam, and that was fire. That was dope.
Cool. So what do you like more, acting or music right now?
I love acting, but I feel like singing is like my soul. I feel like I'm always gonna sing.
Yeah. But combining the forces can be very who's one of the people that did that? Was Jada Pinkett Smith considered a singer at one point or a rapper?
I mean, yeah,
did
right.
Did she make music?
I feel like she probably did. Who didn't back in the 90s? They was doing everything.
Yeah, they were doing everything. It kind of makes me think of these times. It's like sometimes we judge all the artists for doing so many things at once, but we forget that like Will Smith was literally a rapper, actor, producer, host, like all this shit at the same time.
Yeah, he was like rapping before he was acting.
Yeah, he was rapping before he was acting. He was known as the Fresh Prince, literally.
Yeah.
DJ Jazzy Jeff. And then he had some decent songs. He had some shit that went off.
Yeah.
But now he's coming out with some bullshit, man. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about anymore. He had like this one line about Microsoft that is a meme now.
Dang. I gotta listen to his new stuff.
It's trash, man. And he's letting everybody fuck his wife. Like, come on, man.
My gosh.
Come on, Willie. Came up and he's smacking people at the Oscars. God damn, man. How many things can you fuck up in 1 year. If you really think about it, Will Smith had the craziest come up and the craziest like simmer down in the history of Hollywood.
Yeah.
He's a legend. I love the guy, but damn.
Yeah. He was so calm for all his life, though. He had to, like, act out at least once.
Yeah. That's true.
He had a great run.
Yeah, he did have a great run for sure. Who are your inspirations on the mainstream level?
Mainstream. So I have some big ones. Like, definitely, like, timeless ones is, like, Lauryn Hill. I love Boyz II Men. My dad, like, put me on a lot of that. I like Monica, Brandy, the oldies like Anita Baker, all of them. I gotta pay homage to them. Some new school people. I love Amalu. Have you heard of Amalu? She's from North London. She's so fire. You definitely gotta check her out. She's so fire.
Oh. Are you a fan of the like more extreme side of hip hop, or like the Nicki Minaj's and the Cardi B's and everything like that?
Not too much. I don't listen to them too much. Like, I love like Drake and Lil Baby as far as rappers. That's like my go-to for rap.
Does it impact your soul differently when you listen to today's rap versus previous rap or like previous hip hop?
Like, I feel like if I listen to like a lot of like ratchet or overly sexual music, I will feel like spiritually inept. I'll be like, oh gosh, maybe I should not be listening to this.
Yeah, when they get too crazy with it.
Yeah.
It's getting wild, man. Sexy Red came out of nowhere. She's fucking... all she talks about is sex. Like, literally, like, she should just name herself Sex. Oh, yeah, she did. Sexy Red. That's crazy. It's brilliant if you really think about it.
Yeah. Great marketing.
Gotta talk about that. It's what sells now, right? It's unfortunate. Every time you have a female celebrity or a rapper or artist, like, they always get popped up with the question, what about the sex aspect? What about the nudity? What about like doing this and doing that in your music videos? And most of them are like, man, I don't want to do that to make it. And then some of them figure out, shit, this might be the only way I'm going to fucking make it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They get stuck in that predicament. But who's somebody who didn't do any of that shit? Taylor Swift didn't do that shit, did she?
I doubt it.
No, she did not do it.
Because who do they ask to do that other than like black women? Maybe that's a broad statement.
Okay, are there white women that are in the entertainment industry that are freaky as hell compared to like...
and especially like right now.
Who's the freakiest of the female rappers? Would it be Cardi?
I feel like some of her latest songs are a little like super sexual.
Yeah. Okay, we'll use Cardi B. Is there a white version of Cardi B? That baddie girl.
Ooh.
That one girl that was on that talk show where she said what's that one thing, that one famous line that one girl said? Where she says like Dr. Phil. She was on Dr. Phil.
Oh, Bad Baby?
Yeah, Bad Baby.
Not even.
She's a rapper though. She was kind of...
I don't know if she even rapped about like super sexual stuff though.
You're kind of right though. I can't really think of like a whitish rapper, hip hop, R&B singer girl that is doing the same stuff that Cardi B is doing.
Right, or even like pop. Like right now you got like Sabrina Carpenter and she looks all like a doll and stuff like that. Like, or like Camilla and like all the other big like pop stars that aren't, you know, of like black or brown skin.
Yeah. So for you right now, you like to keep your soul balanced. You like to have little karma into your system, so you don't want to have any of that friction in your life.
No, because I mean, that'll affect everything.
No. How do you manage your day-to-day to keep yourself balanced?
Well, I work a regular job, so that's like automatically keeping me balanced and humbled every day. And yeah, and then I love to do music, so it's like that's like keeping me sustainable. Like I have to work to survive, at least for right now. And then it's like that part is like allowing my soul to fly free by chasing my dreams.
I think it's important to talk to people about that aspect of working a job while you're, you know, conquering your goals as an artist. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I think it's difficult to accept that you have to. And not everybody has to. You know, some people can make it and they don't have to do that. But I feel like most people, like, you are going to have to make money in order to pour into your craft. That's just what it is. Like, so I think it's okay. I don't think you should make yourself feel down or be like too much of like, oh, I don't have to do this or I shouldn't have to do this. Because like at some point when you don't have no money to even support yourself, like, what are you going to do? It's okay to work, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when that started. When it was like rappers can't or singers can't have jobs. Like when did that all start?
Right.
I think it's to uphold the image. It was mainly male rappers where it's like you're you're balled out and all this jewelry, nice cars in your music videos, but it's like, yo, you work at Safeway though. It don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like you don't want to feel that emotion about yourself.
well, it's also the audience too. The audience looks at you and go, "You're balling out in these videos, but you're not balling out in real life. I'm not going to listen to you anymore." There's like an authenticity factor, right?
Yeah.
If you're portraying a certain image and then your real life doesn't back that up, people might not fuck with you anymore. They might be like, "That doesn't make any sense. Like, why is he doing this and saying that?" You know, that's like you talking crazy about like anything and not doing it in life. But,
Yeah.
who are some people that you would like to feature with if you could feature with from Detroit?
Ooh, from Detroit, I would love to feature with Faye Vanilla. I think she's so fire.
Faye Vanilla's fire.
Faye Vanilla. I'd love to feature with Babyface Ray. I think he's dope. 42 Doug, just because he's 42. I feel like he just always got, his voice is so bouncy. I feel like it would just be a bop. Who else? I think off top, I mean, it's a lot. I would love to do it all of them. T Grizzly, they're all fire.
Dope, right? 42, you and 42 do good together.
Yeah, he's kind of good vibe.
I seen your Get Fresh studio freestyle, and your voice is dynamic. It can work in a lot of different types of songs. It doesn't have to be restricted to even like hip hop or R&B. I think you could work in a lot of different levels. But it's just about always evolving, right? Like, do you have a vocal trainer or anything like that?
Yeah, I do take vocal lessons.
Oh, sweet.
You gotta keep honing your craft.
For sure. When you take vocal lessons, do you have to go home and recite that constantly, or are you seeing your vocal coach on enough basis where you just only practice when you go to your vocal coach?
No, ideally I would like to like just be practicing every day, but like that's what I would do. Practice every day, and then still when I go to my vocal coach, so I'd be at a new level so we could work on something new.
Do you ever see people on American Idol and go like, think about doing that stuff, or do you think American Idol is like a gimmick now?
I feel like in the past, like I would love to, but I feel like I don't know. I just don't know fully.
American Idol?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no clue if that's a good move or a bad move for anybody anymore.
I feel like it's good to get eyes on you, but then it's like I know there are some restrictions that come with that. Like they can control your image or use you how they want you to be seen and stuff like that.
Yeah, I had a friend on there. He told me about that. Said they kind of changed the actual interactions and how things actually happened.
Yeah.
They tried to make him, because he's a bigger guy, they tried to like really push that agenda. That
Oh,
was,
like he's big?
Yeah, like he's big.
Terrible.
He's like the angle that they took with him and all that stuff. When his voice is incredible, like super incredible voice. I was like, why are you guys focusing on that? Like, who gives a fuck? But I feel like society in America needs a story these days to buy anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we sell everything with stories.
Yeah. Because now you watch Shark Tank and it's like everybody has a mission statement for the product that they're selling. But it's like, motherfucker, you're selling magnets. Relax, man. Like, you're not saving the world with these magnets. It's stopping plastics from getting into the ocean. Like, no, it's not, man. Like, relax, bro. But but America needs to hear a story.
Yeah.
Like, why am I buying this? Besides the fact that I'm buying it for the product, what else is it actually doing? Like right now, I'm wearing Bomba socks. I think Bomba's owned by who owns FUBU again? Damon Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's like a mission statement behind Bomba socks. It's like, come on, man, they're fucking socks, bro. Relax. I think Bombas came out by doing their cause is actually good. Bombas gives out a pair of socks for every socks you purchase.
Okay.
To the homeless. That's pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie. That's a good mission statement.
I mean, like, you gotta have it, because I'm like, who is gonna buy it if you just like, I just got these socks?
Yeah.
People ain't gonna buy it.
The whole point is that because America and because society needs a story to buy into something, they need that for the artist too.
Yeah.
Why are they buying into you?
Yes.
Why are they buying into your music? Why are they buying into your artistry? It can't just these days it can't just be because you're talented.
Yeah.
They need everything else to go with it. How many people approach you to try to manage you or try to take you under their wing?
Probably like 0.
0 people have came up to you?
Yeah, like not like yeah. As far as like really trying to manage me, probably like if I was like not seriously, and not even I really wouldn't count like somebody randomly being like, "Oh, you do music? I can manage," but they don't nothing about me. That's not like a real attempt. I wouldn't consider that.
Yeah.
So not really, no.
Yeah, that would be tough to know like who to trust and who not to trust.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a male manager. And it's like, what do you like? They just want to sign you without even hearing your music.
Yeah.
You got it for sure. You're the one. They don't know shit. Like, I heard a lot of these managers are getting freaky with their artists, man. Like, it's just this whole new world of just like tricking for fame.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no rules to that, because they don't really have a boss, so they are the boss. They can do what they want.
Yeah, exactly. I would never trick my way to success. Unless it was cashed up.
Cashed up.
And she was like, yo, I'm gonna give you 10 racks a month.
Yeah, I'm about to do it. Okay.
All right, fuck it. I'm with that.
You have
I don't think I would never sell, like, I don't know. Artistry is a tough boat because people can say, I'll give you this amount of money. And it's like so much money. You could quit your job. You could live whatever lifestyle. But then they have these circumstances for how you have to operate.
Yeah.
That happened to me. Somebody offered me an opportunity a few months ago to buy the podcast. They were going to sign the podcast. But then there was all these restrictions that came with it where I was like,
what's the point?
Yeah, it's like I'm going to lose this. I'm going to lose what could be the show. And then if the show does blow up, I don't even own half my show anymore.
Yeah, and now y'all get to tell me what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's tough out here. People always try to find a way to make more money instead of like really genuinely caring about what people are doing.
Yeah, that's true. How, well, what's been actually the most difficult part for you as far as becoming an upcoming artist?
Most difficult? I would say most difficult is like knowing if I'm actually sticking or like gaining like real fans or like real traction. I think social media, I think it's a big deal, social media, because it gives you that faith in yourself because you can continuously do and see what you're doing, but you also don't have a real way of knowing like, is it really concrete, I guess, because it's social media,
Right. It's all about the conversions. Like, you got to look at your Apple Music streams and your YouTube streams, Spotify streams to know if people are actually listening to you.
Yeah.
And that's the harsh reality a lot of artists have to deal with is they're getting crazy numbers on social media. They're getting like 1,000 likes, 1,000 comments on social media, but then their YouTube views are like 100 views.
Yeah.
And then they can't sell tickets to their show. So it's like,
yeah,
we cannot base everything off social media. If the thing that pays you, which is YouTube streams and selling tickets for shows, is not happening, then what are we really talking about? You're famous on social media, but it's not converting to anything else.
Yeah.
Especially female artists, they have it the worst because they get this illusion because they're attractive, and men are always going to tap in on their posts. Men are always going to like a female artist's post and comment on their posts. And then the female artist might be like, oh, I'm up. This is it. I made it. It's like, no, you're just another one of the 1,000 million other girls that it's getting all these likes and comments.
Yeah, and that's like now with a lot of the new like rappers and stuff, and people be trying to judge them when people go to their shows and people aren't all hype. But it's like they're so new that have they really gained that big fan base? Yes, they may have fame and like clout, but like are there fans that really know and listen and love them and their music? It's hard to find that, I think.
Yeah. The first time I witnessed it was Rocky Bad. I was like, Rocky Bad is an extremely, extremely talented artist.
Yeah, she is.
And I seen her social media meet up to her at her shows. Like, everybody that was on social media was like, no, we are pulling up to the Rocky Bad show.
Yeah.
But then I've seen female artists with 3 times her following do a show and literally nobody was there.
Yeah.
Where I'm like,
and
oh my
that's
God.
crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, basing everything off of social media is not the way. I really think social media is transforming. I feel like, you know how they used to say, like, when you used to go on social media, all the internet Instagram gurus would go post all the time, post as much as you can, give these people content.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst thing to ever happen to artists. I think artists should have done what people have been doing since the 90s. Stay mysterious and only post quality content.
My dad says the same thing. He thinks that way.
Yeah, that's how 2025 is going to be. 2025, everybody needs to change into like, yo, less content, higher quality content. stay low key, and only produce quality content.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Why is a rapper, showing me what they had for dinner? Why is a rapper showing me what coat they just bought? Why is a rapper showing me what video games they're about to stream on Twitch tonight? Like, bro, I'm trying to listen to your music, see you in some music videos, and pull up to your show.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to see anything else.
What do you think about, too, like with the different streams of income people are trying to have, like the Twitch and stuff like that? I feel like people also are trying to find those other streams of income and like being like, well, maybe if I don't make it as a rapper, maybe I'll make it as a Twitch star like Kai Cenat or like DDG or something.
Yeah, the rarity is extremely, extremely high. Like, the rare chance that you're going to make it as a Twitch streamer is so substantially large. Like, you have a better chance as making it as a local hood rapper than you do as a Twitch streamer. Successfully. And what's happening is you're really spreading yourself thin, because Twitch is its own platform that you have to create a whole different character for, or you have to present yourself a whole different way for. And then Instagram is a whole different way that you have to present yourself. TikTok is a whole different way that you have to present yourself. YouTube is a whole different way that you have to present yourself. So now it's like you're trying to figure out like, how do I mesh into this, mesh into that, when you're not really dominating any one of those now because of that. So people are just spreading themselves thin, and everybody, you know why it's all happening? Everybody is just thinking about money and clout. That's why everything is going downhill. Everybody's thinking about money and clout. So when these rappers are thinking about how am I going to make the most money or how am I going to get the most clout, well, why are you an artist in the first place? Isn't that to create art?
Yeah.
It's not to create money. It's to create art. So if you're just thinking about how to create money, then there's going to be no actual creative substance to what you're delivering. Therefore, people are not going to want to listen to you.
True.
But you're going to be popular as hell if you do the right things. That doesn't mean you're going to really make money. You can be super, super popular on social media, but not make any money. And that's what's happening to a lot of these rappers. Most of your favorite rappers right now have jobs. They have jobs. Like the ones you think like have 1 million followers and all that shit, a lot of them have jobs. Like they have to make some type of side income, whether illegally or legally or whatever it is. They're not just making money based off of just their rap career. There are people who are just making money off the rap career. I'm not saying that there aren't. But a lot of them that you look up to and worship are not doing the numbers or making as much money as you think they are. And it's because everybody's spreading themselves thin. I want to get into your past about your jobs. You had to work multiple jobs at one time at a certain point, right?
Yeah.
Talk about the hardships of the multiple jobs you had to work.
I think the hardships was never fun. Like I had a break. Like it's like you want that peace and it's just not there, and you just have to give it up because it's like, okay, this is what I got to do for right now. I'm in this matrix feeling in this moment. So yeah.
4 jobs at once though.
I wasn't working 4 at once.
Oh, was it?
But I was working I went 4 in 1 year, 4 different jobs. But I was working 2 jobs at once at one point.
Were you getting fired or were you quitting?
I was quitting. I was moving up, I would say. I was just transitioning. It would be better available jobs. And I'm like, okay, well, this is coming along. I'm about to take this one.
So you never got fired. It was literally you just going like, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
All right. What was the first job that you did?
The first one that kicked it off was at, Urban Outfitters.
No, okay. And then you left that, or did you go after that?
After that, I went to my mom's job, and I was like leasing.
Leasing cars?
No, apartments.
Oh, cool. Oh, what was that? What would you do after that?
Now I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher?
Yes.
For like a school?
Yes.
No way. What level of grade?
I teach K through 8th grade. Right now I teach 1st grade through 8th grade.
Bro, where were teachers like you at when I was coming to school, man? They all look like grandmas and shit. Now they're coming out red hair.
I know.
Fucking, I don't know what those are called, boots.
Chewbacca boots?
Chewbacca boots.
Chewbacca boots.
What's it like being a teacher?
It's very fun. It's very rewarding. It's like, it's an endearing experience. You get to see everything and just feel like nothing really changes. I feel like they're just like how we would have been when we were in school. They think about the same stuff. They want to do the same stuff. They really don't know why. They're like, I got to do this. But it's like, okay. And they just living their life trying to find like real meaning in why they got to do all this stuff.
Okay, you're relatively young though, right? So can you... Yeah. I'm not gonna guess your age because that's rude, but you seem relatively young, enough to remember what it was like being in 8th grade.
Yeah.
You remember what it's like? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What's the difference now from what you're seeing these students that are in 8th grade versus your time in 8th grade?
I feel like now more of them are more focused on like adult things. Like I feel like their energy is very focused on not being like kids and in school because they got access to phones and they see people and they see like people like driving certain type of cars and having all this money. Like one of my 8th graders today is looking up Hermes bags for his mom.
Oh my god.
I'm like, that's ridiculous. You're in the 8th grade. I get it. Like we should dream big and stuff like that, but that's not something that you should even think you got to do. But that's what you see people do online and on YouTube and stuff like that.
Wow. So they're thinking about money.
Yes.
How to get to the bag. What are you seeing as far as it being an issue? Like, do you see them being so attracted to money as an issue?
Yeah, because I feel like if they could just leave school now and go make money, they would. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that they see a purpose in it. They don't see value in, different school districts. By the time I was in 8th grade, I was in Troy. So, like, the quality of education is a lot different from Detroit schools based off the resources that they get and what they've grown up experiencing. So that could be a big factor, too, with, like, people directing how they direct their attention.
Yeah. That's the whole new thing now. They have the memes come out where, like, people, go like, oh, I could have been a millionaire, too, but I was too busy in kindergarten, like, playing with puzzles and stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't invest in Apple at the time.
Yeah.
Everybody's focused on money.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like super honed in on like how do I make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
But to hear it at the 8th grade level is wild.
Yeah, because I think too is like I feel like everybody feels trapped. They feel like maybe if I had some money, I wouldn't have to be doing this. Maybe if I had some money, like my lifestyle would be different. My home life might be different if I had money. Those are the things that they might think about.
Do you implement music into your classroom?
I don't even like tell them that I do music yet because I don't want them trying to find me. Oh, where's Miss Nia? Like, da-da-da-da. Like, I would because I think we could, but I play music sometimes, but I haven't, like, put that in there, no.
Yeah, we've had a couple of teachers on here. I forget the names, but...
I know it was one. I think Drip Honey. I don't know
Drip
if she was
Honey,
on
yeah,
here.
she got fired for coming out as an artist.
Yeah.
And then there was Jim Murray, the guy who was came out the closet. Jamar.
Oh, Jamar. I do remember hearing that.
Yeah, he came out the closet or whatever. But it was his last year of teaching when he came on the podcast. He was like, "I'm done after this." But he made a song with his students.
That's dope.
And all that. I think schools are more accepting of their teachers doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's
not crazy strict.
Yeah. That's so cool. So you teach and then you go home and work on music pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you drained by the time you get home?
Not as drained as I was at my other job. Because at least this, I'm dealing with real lives all day and not just papers and stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God, grading papers. What's that like?
Oh yeah, that was like hell. Saturday morning, I'm spending 3 hours grading papers.
Wow.
I mean, it's okay, but it's like, that's something you never think about. Teachers really devote their whole life to these kids.
Man.
Especially ones that don't do things outside of teaching.
I know, it just sounds so dumb. Like, why would you put yourself through that shit? Like, so when you're grading students' papers, like, the question might be like, when did George Washington discover America? And then do they just put the numbers? And then you go, okay, that number's accurate. Like, do you know on the top of your head, like, when he did? And then you're like, all right, that one's right? Or do you have to keep looking at, like, an answer sheet to know if they're right?
Like, based off the questions I give them, I would already have looked up the answer and known. And most of the time, based off, because I teach them computer science. So as long as this, like, they made sense, unless it's, like, an answer that I'm like, y'all already know this, I will give them credit for just trying. But if they're like, okay, if I'm like, what is coding? And they're like, the color blue or something, like, that's not trying. You can't get points for that.
What do you do to your students that are bad, like the class clowns? Like, how do you handle them? I was a class clown. I want to know this shit. Like, I was the person who was, like, separated from the class. Like, I was bad.
I actually don't do that. I try to give them more attention because I try to look at it as, like, it's a reason why you acting like that. Most of them, the ones that I experience. And a lot of the times too is because they have difficulty even doing their work. They struggle, so they need more attention. So I try to sit them down instead of being like, oh, you're bad, go stand up at the wall. Because, yeah, there's some that like try you, and those you do have to be like, okay, cut it out, I need you to go stand up there. But a lot of times they need help, so I just focus on them.
Yeah, that's true. I remember when I was in school, I remember I was like a straight up student, like straight. I'm talking about like, man, I'm talking about F, like that was I was just like straight up. That's it.
Oh my God.
And I was always getting in trouble, but you're right. It's because I didn't understand the material. And I remember somebody was like, Lawrence, oh, God damn, I just said my name. Somebody was like, yo, L, you got to start paying attention in class and you'll start passing your classes. So I used to sit at the back of the class. I was like, okay, let me move to the front of the class. And then I used to like listen to the teacher, like pay so much attention to the teacher. One day I just realized I was dumb as hell. I was like, I'm just a dumb guy. Like, I'm just an idiot. That's just what it is. But you're right though. Like, because I didn't understand everything, I start acting out because I'm like, y'all are actually paying attention and knowing what's going on. I have nothing else to do right now.
Your energy don't know where to focus. You're like, what am I supposed to do?
What's it like? So, do you send kids to like the outside, like to the principal's office and shit, or you're like cool, like try to figure it out in your own? I
do try to figure it out. Only the kids that I really will take out is the ones that I'm like, I know you're acting out. This is not your personality. You just trying to like either do something that you shouldn't be doing. Yeah. Or like if it is too big, I'll go like get one of our administrators and just try to like talk to them, them talk to them.
Do the parents ever talk to you and be like, bro, you're like my daughter's age? Like that?
The parents really don't. I haven't seen the parents. Like, even on parent-teacher conference, I think I had one parent come out of, like...
They don't pull up?
That's another sad part, no.
Wow. When I was going to school, parent-teacher conference was almost like
a big thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a big deal.
What do you think's happening?
I think, well, the parents now are a little bit younger. And if they think that the kid has a good grade, they don't think they need to check. But it's like, you still should come see what they're learning and see how they're learning their behavioral skills and stuff like that.
I think this is super interesting. That's why I'm asking you questions about the school stuff. I think it's relative because you get to give perspective on what you might have even been thinking when you were going to school versus you being the teacher now.
Yeah.
So what's something that you got perspective-wise being a teacher that when you were a student, you now see clearly?
So one thing too that I used to notice, like a lot of teachers never used to talk to me. I never had no bonds like with any of my teachers until I probably hit like 7th grade. And I'm like, I don't think that's cool. I'm like, even the quiet ones, I try to just at least like be in their space so that they can feel that my energy does love and care for them. Like they can come talk to me even if they're kind of quiet. Like that's one thing I think that's important. I'm like, because kids will really look at you like they're little. They don't know. So they see a person that looks like them and is kind, they really will adore you. So it's like just being that person that you don't really didn't have is good.
Yeah, I could see that in 7th grade, but in 8th grade, yeah. Man, I was trying to hook up with every one of my teachers, man. I didn't give a fuck, bro. Hey, look, man. Miss you feel me? Who else was I trying to get with?
That's so
man,
funny.
They were so bad. Man, they're still bad to this day. But I feel like male students have more struggle with it because they're like their hormones are going crazy and they're trying to like, oh yeah, I want to hook up with every girl in the class and my teacher. This is nuts.
Yeah.
So they can't even pay attention. And then it's like I know girls are more like take some time to be like all freaky like that, right? And like they don't tell like college and shit. They're not thinking about that stuff. But that must be the hardest part is dealing with the boys. That cannot be easy.
A lot of my boys are like respectful, and I try to be like my most genuine, purest self in those spaces. So I try not to cultivate or like, really entertain that. But I'm like, yeah, and a lot of them, they more so like, they'll come and talk about their own girlfriends. Like, Miss Nia, I like got this roster of these girls. I had like 6 ex-girlfriends and then like in the 7th grade. So I just would rather them like talk to me about their little personal relationship problems so they can feel like, okay, like I can trust Miss Nia. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, no cap. Damn, that destroys all of my thoughts of what teachers are thinking. I thought y'all were like, damn. So my teacher wasn't thinking about hooking up with me?
Probably
she
not.
wasn't looking at me like, oh, damn.
Probably not. I hope not.
One time I was going crazy on Pornhub, right? This was like 8th grade type shit. So I'm watching Pornhub, and there was like this one where a student comes up to his teacher and he's about to fail his class, and then he looks at her and he goes, I will do whatever it takes to pass this class, and I mean anything. And then they end up fucking, right? So the next day, I walked up to my teacher and I said the same shit to her. I was failing her class. I was like, Miss H, I'll do whatever it takes to pass this class. And I locked eyes. I was like, and I mean whatever. I thought she's gonna say, okay, meet me after class. She's like, there's no hope for you. Just go. I was like, the end of the whole thing right there. Nah. Man, I used to think, like, I always thought she wanted me. I was like, oh, yeah, she wants me, bro. But now I get it. Like, you guys are just looking at us like kids. Damn, it sucks, man.
They are kids. They are.
So, how do you get your mind, like, prepared for music after you deal with work? Like, how do you get yourself in the zone? Do you have a ritualistic aspect or some type of conditions that you set yourself into make the best music?
I try to just like find a moment, like at least to have downtime with myself. Like at least when I least work, I have to decompress and just relax. And I think that's just the most like genuine thing, just being like in the best mind state of myself for myself.
And I'm assuming because you seem like a pretty balanced person, you can't talk about that stuff because you can teachers can drink, right? So do you abstain from like any type of external remedies to produce better music? Like, do you stay fully like just like sober in the studio?
I mean, like I will have like a drink here and there in the studio. I do. I don't like smoke anymore or anything. But yeah, I don't think like having some wine and just like letting yourself flow and relax, I don't think it's bad at all.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. So you just keep it pretty simple when you go in the studio.
Yeah. True. Because, I mean, if you get too lit, too, you can't even record good. Like, you're going to feel like it sound good, and it's really not going to sound good.
What do you think is your most unappreciated song that you've released?
I think it is... I don't know. Maybe Lighting You Right Now. I think it's really dope.
But isn't that, like, the main song?
Yeah, but I'm like, I try not to even check my streams and stuff too often because I don't want to get caught up in the numbers. I know it matters, but if you look at it every day, like, it's going to be so draining trying to think and see about, like, how many people are listening or how often they're listening. So maybe that just because, like, I don't, like I said, you never know, like, how it's doing for real.
Break down the lyrics for everybody and the message behind the song.
Okay, so the lyrics... Why don't you know that I would dodge a bullet for you? Like, it's like, you know, why don't you know that I would do anything for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, pretty much like love ties like that. And the song is really a freestyle. Like, I freestyled it. So the message just comes as like, pretty much like I see you as like how God sees us. I feel like that's how I'm trying to say like how much love I have for this person or the person that I'm involved with or in love with, you know?
Yeah. As the person that you're thinking about, not literally, but in the song when you're making it, are they reciprocating it? Or is it like you're saying, how come you don't understand it? Or are you just saying, this is how much I love you?
I guess I'm kind of saying both. I'm kind of saying like, because you know how some people be like, oh, I don't like, why do you love me? Or you know how some people don't understand why people might love them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of saying like, this is why. Like I'm unleashing to you like all the reasons why.
That's dope. It's like a love letter kind of, right? Like freestyle love letter. That's dope. Did the person that you made it for here, or was it just to an ambiguous entity?
It's just to an ambiguous entity.
So this ambiguous entity, that means that somewhere you're longing for your love to be reciprocated.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm really just like, I want people to feel it. I want people to feel like, you know, like that's who they are. And if they want to share it with their loved one too, like that's how I see you, you know?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's like it's the famous like line of always loves, or what do people always say? Like always marry the person that loves you more than you love them, or some shit like that. Or some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
I don't know if that's true or not. Like marry somebody that loves you more than you love them, because it's like like you might never love somebody as much as that person loves you? I don't fucking know.
I feel like that's kind of bold. I feel like, that's kind of like, this like settling. Well, you kind of are a little bit obsessed with me, so I'm going to like stay with you because I might not find somebody that loves me this much.
Damn, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's a real thing, though.
Yeah, I'm sure people, I think it's a mindset to have. I think you got to outgrow that mindset.
Expand.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about you. Expand on what you mean.
Oh, I feel like you got to outgrow thinking like that. You got to be like, I can find somebody that sees me how I would see them. Like, it can be that equal. We don't have to sacrifice and like, I know you'll never leave me because you love me this much. It's like you can find somebody that you feel that way about and they could feel that way about you too. And it don't even have to be like an overly bonded, attached thing. It just be like a thing of like, I love and respect you enough to be like, I would not do anything to disrespect our treasure,
Yeah, that depends on how much the other person wants to have that level of love for somebody.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing to find, I will say.
Yeah. Because there's a certain point where you might just be like, I built enough with this person and love this person enough that even though they're not the perfect person for me, I still love them.
Yeah.
Enough to be with them forever. That'd be wild.
Mm-hmm.
Because these days it's like everybody wants everything. Like they want the whole package. They want like the looks, the personality, the trust,
the money,
communication, the money, everything. They want everything, which is like, it's cool. Like everybody wants what they want. But now I think because there's so many options and social media made people so accessible that you might have it all and just be like, but that person on social media might be better for me because of that.
Literally, that's the sick part of having so much access to everything and everybody.
Yeah. So much access is what's messing up everything, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the thing that you think is a better opportunity most likely isn't.
Yeah. It's like the grass isn't always greener on the other side type of deal.
Yeah, I remember one time a long time ago, not my current relationship, but my last relationship, I was with my ex-girlfriend and I remember I talked to this other girl. Like I never cheated in my life, all right? Just put this on the table. I never cheated once in my entire life with any relationship I've ever been in. So I was with this girl and just so happenly, apparently, I thought about cheating. So I started talking to this other girl. No, actually, I ended up hooking up with her. But I didn't, like, all right, look, man, hold on. Let me uncomplicate the situation.
You said you never
No, we didn't cheat. All right, so, all right, bro. I was with my ex-girlfriend, okay? We broke up one time. One time we broke up while we were dating. But I knew we were going to get back together.
Okay.
So while we were broken up, I was like, maybe there's more to this world than my girl. And then I cheated and I hooked up with this random girl that I thought was the girl of my dreams. After I hooked up with that girl, I realized it was the biggest mistake of my life. And that this girl meant nothing to me, and that it was all an illusion. Once I actually got the illusion, I was like, it's always an illusion. You always think the grass is greener on the other side. Then I got back with my girl. Terrible. It's terrible.
It wasn't the same anymore?
Bro, it was the worst. It was the worst shit ever because I felt guilt. I never told her. I didn't tell her that I slept with somebody while we were broken up. So like the entire time, I was haunted by this whole girl that I cheated with. Like, bro, I'm telling you, she was this Native American Indian girl. She was beautiful, but she smelled like incense, like a really good incense. So for like the next 6 months until I told my girlfriend, I just smelled the incense everywhere. I would smell it everywhere. And then like I would hear her moans when I was hitting it from the back. And then one day I finally told my girlfriend all this shit, and then it all went away. Like she was like, and the smell of the incense disappeared. I was like, wow, my conscience is cleared, son. Like it's all over with. But the whole point of the story is I thought the grass was greener on the other side, and it fucking wasn't. Like these illusions of, I'm going to go sleep with this woman, or I'm going to go hook up with this woman and my life is going to get better is wrong like 99% of the time.
I'm so glad you could say that. I feel like most men will never admit to that. They like, I love having women on the side, or like, they won't admit to stuff like that.
Side chicks?
Yeah.
Where do you think side chicks came from? Like, where do you think like the invention of it happened?
I don't know. People just not being happy. I don't know where that came from.
But happily married men cheat too.
That's true. Oh, people wanting their cake and want to eat it too. Greedy. People be greedy. I think.
Have you ever cheated in your life?
No. Just kidding. I never have. Not for real.
You never cheated?
Not really. Like, when you're like young and like, 18, no, I never really cheated. No.
How many relationships have you been in?
Like, realistically, really like two.
Oh, no. Did they both go good and just ended, or did they like go crazy and then ended?
One just, it was good and we just ended, he lived somewhere else, so it just was like, okay, this time. Another one, it was just like, that was just a dumb relationship. I think I was trying to prove something to myself, that I could be a good girlfriend, and it was dumb. So yeah.
You're trying to prove that you could be a good girlfriend?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Just like, okay, like I can actually be a girlfriend that's not like all just like more so self-involved instead of trying to like be there for him. So I was trying to like overcompensate for how I felt about myself in the past and that type of thing. Just being kind of ignorant.
Damn. So you have a very good self-awareness.
I try to. Yes. I try to be self-aware. I want to be self-aware, so yeah.
Are you spiritual? Like, do you practice yoga and meditation?
I mean, yes. Do I do it all the time? No, but that's something I definitely believe is worth it, and I would love to do it habitually.
Yeah.
Do you?
Hell yeah. Every day. Shambhavi Mahamudra every day, 45 minutes. Changed my life. Yeah. But I could see it. Like, if you practice it, because you're already very chill, very balanced person, it's like you add to it and you become even more balanced. But your perspective on life are very spiritual. It's like very, like you're not confused by what alter people's perception on a consistent basis. Because we constantly get misdirected based upon what we see from TV or, like we said, social media, entertainment, into thinking that life is one way when it's like, no, that's how we think life is because we're watching all that bullshit and listening to all that bullshit all the time.
Yeah. We talk about that all the time.
Who?
Me and my best friend. We always talk about stuff like that.
Like what?
Like things like you just said, like people just trying to control your perception and you feeling so like small, like you can't change anything, when it's like, it is that deep because it does affect people, but it doesn't have to be if you allow it to be. Like, is it really going to kill me? And if it's not, then you're okay.
Yeah. What's the toughest thing that you've ever had to overcome?
The toughest thing that I've ever had to overcome is myself. Realistically, like if I'm just being honest, but yeah, myself, life, challenges that, feel like you can't get past them, and it's just always comes down to yourself, like how I think and my limited perceptions of myself and what I thought I couldn't do.
Yeah. So do you intellectually comprehend what adjustments you need to make, or do you sit alone with yourself, or how do you comprehend what adjustments you need to make with yourself?
So I do. I like to spend a lot of like time just with myself. I do like to spend a lot of time with myself, and I just have to like talk to myself. My mom be thinking I'm crazy, but I do have to talk to myself. And even like alone, I just write. I talk to God a lot too. And yeah, I do what comes up to me naturally to make me feel like this is what I need in this moment to be better. So
do you pray, or do you just talk to God?
I pray. I pray heavy. I pray.
You pray every day?
Yes, I pray every day.
That's cool. Damn, I thought praying was like obsolete.
What's that mean?
Obsolete?
I mean, I get it, but like, what do you mean by that?
I thought like people were like, those days were done. Like to actually sit and pray.
Oh my God, you don't pray?
Do I pray? Yeah, I mean not like I'm talking to God.
But
I'll just be like, damn, bro, I hope my dog lives a long ass life. I talk to trees and shit. Okay. I touch trees.
And touch trees.
I tell trees, I'll touch a tree with my socks off, and I'll stand in the dirt, and I'll say to the tree, what you exhale, I inhale, and what I exhale, you inhale. And then I say, Mother Nature, I understand that my body is just a loan from this earth that I will have to return one day. While I'm here, sustain me, keep me happy, keep me joyful, and keep me well. And then I look at the sun, and I bow down to the sun, and I peace out.
Period.
And then I go live my freaky ass lifestyle. That's your prayer, though. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. But that's praying. right?
Yeah, I mean, you're giving, you're asking and giving, you know. I think it could, yeah, that's your prayer.
No doubt. No doubt. Is there anything you want to talk about?
Oh.
What's your like main hobbies?
Singing. I like being outside, but it's cold now, so singing.
Do you
I
do-
like hanging out too with my friends.
Do you do
Like turning up.
karaoke?
I don't like to take it not serious. I feel like that, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I want to be jokey with it, but I do have a real like a precious sense of it. But I know I don't be doing karaoke.
No, just a question. Shit. Do you do open mics often?
Yeah, I used to do them a lot, but now I'm just kind of like just chilling more, trying to really just, sit in it.
No. Something tells me you do mushrooms. But, I'm not gonna say that's true. But what do you think about the state of Detroit music right now? Do you listen to Detroit rap?
Not every day, but I do. I love it. I love our culture. I love our rap. Yeah.
Do you feel like you would want to kind of contribute to that, or do you feel like you want to go more mainstream with everything you're doing?
No, I would definitely want to contribute to it. Like, one of my things that I wanted to do is like I want Detroit people to know who I am before I blow up. So they're not like, oh, we never even heard of her,
And then she just takes up.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I want to contribute.
That's dope. Yeah, I mean, the roster is small, but it's powerful. You got obviously the Queens, which is Cash Doll and Dej Loaf.
Yeah.
And then, Pretty Brea, Vay Vanilla, Rocky Bad are really pushing forward. And then there's a whole R&B scene, too, of girls that are really kicking the door downs.
Yeah, we got some big ones out here.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be dope to add more people to it. But what really happens is a lot of female artists, just in general, but I'll say in Michigan from what I've seen, get compromised pretty quickly because normally, somebody will try to sign them, like a guy or a DJ or a producer or another rapper, and they'll have the female artist tag along, and they just use the hell up out of that female artist, and then by the time they're done with the female artist, the female artist is like fucked up by then.
Yeah.
They're like, what the hell journey did I just go on?
Yeah.
They get introduced to a bunch of stuff that they never had to be introduced to, and then they get corrupted.
Yeah.
And it's just because the guy's horny. Literally. Literally a lot of the reason a lot of female artists' careers end is because the guy that they were working with was horny. He compromised her career to keep her where he wanted her to be and never helped her flourish because he just wanted her all to himself.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. And I think sometimes too, like, you got asked like, oh, do people come and ask me about manager? I think sometimes too it's like a good thing for like protection wise, like, because how genuine are people's intentions going to be, especially like, I think the time when you need a manager is when you really got so much going on, like concretely, that you do need help, and not just like just managing myself on a daily basis. Like, what are you going to manage for me that I can't do in this moment?
Especially with a person has an organized career. Like, if you can be an organized teacher, then you're going to be an organized artist.
Thank you.
When Cash Doll was on here, she was talking about how she was managing herself for a long time before she got somebody booking for her.
Yeah, I have heard stories of her doing that.
Yeah, like literally. It gets difficult to a point where, like, it can get really difficult. What do you have, like, now, 25,000 followers around there?
No.
How many followers do you have?
Like 5,000.
5,000? I must be tripping.
Yeah, but that was nice though. I like that.
25,000?
Yeah.
Once you get to 10, everything gets easier.
Yeah. Shoot up.
We'll make it happen. Is there any projects you want to talk about or anything you got releasing soon?
So yeah, I will be working on an EP. I'm not sure when it's gonna come out, but that is in the works. And yeah.
You gotta set a date.
I know.
That way you get like motivated to do it. It's like, all right, I said it on the podcast, I gotta fucking do it now.
True.
Any like predictions of when it might drop?
I would say I wanted it to like drop in like September. Obviously it's November now.
Oh, this year, September, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But it's just, but I would say if it could, December, if not early January. I don't know what would be better to drop it at the end of the year or the beginning of a new year, you know. But I feel like maybe beginning of a new year, so you have new things to roll out.
I would follow the trends of what all these major artists are doing. It seems like November is going to be the last month of dropping for them. And then December and January, they're probably going to skip out.
And work.
You got to just look at it's all pretty relative, like inconsistent. Like every year, artists generally drop around the same time. And if you just go to like release date of albums,
Yeah,
kind of helps.
that is true. I feel like they come out at the same time.
Bro, all Detroit artists fly back to Michigan around the same time. It's the craziest thing. Like, I'm not going to say the names of them, but they'll all pull up during like fucking June and July and shit, like August, and like all just like, it's like, man, oh, he's flying in, oh, she's flying in. It's like, oh shit, there's a reason behind it. I don't know why it is, but it's something to do with the labels, and they just know the best time to drop music and all that shit. Anyway, this was a great talk. I look forward to seeing what you bring to the table with the EP.
Thank you.
You have a very dynamic voice. I think a lot of people need to tune into you and check out what you got going on, but I would recommend consistency, more prolific, amounts of music being dropped. You know what I'm saying? Just
I
so
respect it.
go crazy.
Thank you.
There's no point in holding back.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I
Of course.
appreciate it.
We're at Parallel Sound Studio, High Level Visual Shootings Productions. We're out.